Hello everybody, Craig Warrack here, back with another Customising Live. Um, Thank you for bearing with me if you've been subscribed to my channel. I've not live streamed in a couple of weeks now. I've been having problems, technical issues with using my my phone to live stream. It just doesn't seem to like it. So today I'm using my iPad, which doesn't fit on my tripod, so I'm a bit worried it's all going to topple off any minute, but I'll get that fixed. I'll get that fixed hopefully. But yes, so while I may not have live streamed, I haven't stopped working on BOWSER. Let me just tip this forward gingerly a little so it doesn't fall off. I have been working on him a lot. I've pretty much finished the head, with the exception of the hair around the back. Finished that, and I've moved on to the body, but I'll give you a closer look at where I got to with the head. Let it don't fall off. Just when things couldn't get more complicated as far as trying to live stream and have a camera and everything, now I've got to have a tablet instead. So yeah. So this is BOWSER's head. Pretty much all done. I'll still have to go in and do some work, of course, because I never stop picking away at things, but it's pretty much him. Gonna have to finish off the back of the hair there. That's him. Oh. Well, the back of his mouth is folded over the front and now it's stuck. There we go. So yeah, that's his head. And I've been working on his body. As you can see. Oh, this tablet nonsense is annoying. Even that's too far. You're too tall, BOWSER. You're too tall. Sit down. So yeah, I've been working on his body. I brought out his stomach a lot more because the Hulk that this is based on obviously has super ripped abs, but I brought out his belly using the multi-morph plastic, and then I'm sculpting on top of it. Got the sort of armoured front going down there. Has a lot you know, very worn texture across it. The spines coming out, and round the sides just try and push out his love handles a bit more, and yeah, then just texture that so there's a difference in texture between like his skin and his sort of more armoured parts perhaps. And also just keeping like even though he's like a big tubby guy, using the shapes of the armoured layers to kind of evoke that sort of, you know, that would be a six-pack kind of idea, but it's, you know, it's clearly armour and he's not a six-pack kind of guy. I've also made the studded collar, again making that out of multi-morph just to get the shape of it okay, and then just screwing the little collar studs into it. And I've done much the same on his arms. This is still all very messy. This is what I've been working on most recently. So yeah, it's still very much in the process, and obviously I'm not fully sealing it up around here. I still have to sculpt all of this spiked band around his arm, and it's still, you know, I'm still leaving the pegs exposed so that I can disassemble them and work on the parts individually. and also it'll help for painting and whatever, but I will eventually seal these up. So that's where I'm at just now. Hello to everyone that's joining me. Milo, Tommy Benfield, and the Michael 0706. And thank you to the people hitting that like button. But okay, what will I get on with just now? I'll put Bowser's head over there, so he's still in the shot. So I really don't plan on doing a long stream today. I've been trying to live stream, as I said, on my phone all day, and I've been wasting all that time because it just hasn't been working for me. So it'll be a quick one today, but I'm just gonna, I think I'll probably do his other shoulder. I'll probably sculpt to start on that. So let me get my Milliput epoxy putty. America Eagle says, Craig, do you ever think about new way of articulation that haven't been tried yet in the industry? He said as he dropped his tablet on the floor. America Eagle, I believe in the previous live stream you asked me, was it yourself who asked me why can figures not shrug, you know, do a shoulder shrug? It's kind of the same angle you're taking. I mean, every time I make a custom figure, I have to come up with articulation solutions. BOWSER's particular articulation solution is his shell. But yeah, you know, I'm not sure. I think of ways that I think like superhero figures need to be able to move that they haven't invented yet or anything. I remember, I can't remember if it ever manifested, but there were some Dragon Ball Z figures where, like, where they could sort of flex their muscles. I don't know if they ever materialized on market. Milo says, can't wait to watch you paint this. Where would you display him? He's so big. Let me see if I can I turn my camera? Give you an idea. Hello, me over here. See that big guy up there? That's Ganon. So that is where I would that's where I would Bowser and Ganon probably go together. But really, to display figures, I've only got a handful of shelves. And I put out my favourite figures and switch them around, whatever. So, you know, we could mix it up at some point, put them more centrally, but yeah, they'll probably be high up like that. Hope that answers your question. One-Winged Crow says, I just got here, how late am I? 9 minutes and 39 seconds. Justin Nazilla, yo, Stefano Maisto. Sup? Dat1X says the Bandai Dragon Ball model kits can flex their muscles. Thank you for clarifying that. In case you're wondering what I'm doing off camera. I'm mixing a epoxy putty. I'm not diddling myself. Oops. God, this tablet nonsense is difficult. I'll get used to it. I'll get used to it. Hello Kit, how are you doing? Freighter Sanguinus says, are you going to be breaking out the Sugru for the hair on the rear side of his head? I don't really know yet. Unlikely. Sugru, you have to get the colour right, you know. It can't really be painted, so I don't think so. I mean, Sugru was okay for Ganon, but I don't really see Bowser's hair as going to be that much of a sort of problem articulation-wise, because he really just has a mohawk, and that can just come down to about there, and not really have to get in the way of his neck articulation or anything. So I don't really see it. I'm using Procreate for the strands around the front. So if I do need to use anything, I'll use Procreate. It has that flexibility for the little strands. For these bits as well. One Winged Crow says, I love watching you work. You've been inspiring me for years, and I know you'll continue to inspire me for many years to come. I can't wait to see this project when it's finished. Thank you very much. It's the journey though, isn't it? Rather than the destination. I know people want to see it finished, but I'm going to purposefully never finish it despite everyone. Take that. There we go, that's him done. That's as far as I'm taking Bowser. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Thank you, Rygar. Did anyone ever play the game Rygar back in the day? Or they remade it for the PlayStation 2, didn't they? And Warrior of Argos or something. And also for the, wasn't it they re-released that for the Wii? Mila says, what's your favourite Mario game, Craig? And is Bowser your favourite character? My favourite Mario game is probably I was going to say Super Mario World. For the Super Nintendo. But I think it's Yoshi's Island. Again, for the Super Nintendo. Yeah, Yoshi's Island. I just feel that like every level had an identity. Levels had a good length, you know, I feel like it was maybe one of the first Mario games to kind of introduce that getting 100% in a level sort of mechanic, like finding all the red coins, getting all the flowers. So yeah, Yoshi's Island, the art style, great. Lots of innovation as far as what the platforms did and that sort of thing. Lots of unique enemies. So yeah, Yoshi's Island. Is Bowser my favourite character though? No, I don't think so. I mean, it's hard to really pick a favourite because they're all such like blank slates. They don't really do that much. But you know, when they do flesh them out, like in the RPGs and stuff, I don't. You know, Bowser doesn't really do much for me there. My favourite character is actually the Princess. Princess Peach, that is. Princess Peach Toadstool. She's the character I'll always pick if there's a a character choice going. If it's Mario Kart or Smash Brothers or Mario Tennis or any of that, I always pick the princess. Because I like that, snobby attitude. Um, I just think it's funny, just a princess in a huge big like gown, going around doing all this ridiculous stuff. And she was also, in the first time I could play her was in Super Mario Brothers 2 on the NES, and like she was sort of the rule breaker. Like she could like float. It's kind of like she wasn't playing by the other people's rules. I really liked that. So that kind of endeared me to her. So yeah, it's in the Mario world, the princess is my favourite character. That 1X says, really inspiring me to do a figure from Guyver. Interesting. Go ahead, go for it. Mason J, on average, how long does it take you to customise one of your figures? There is no average, to be honest. Rygar says he is a legally distinct franchise. Good call. Stephen Watson, hey Craig, it's looking great. Thank you, Stephen. Zombie813 says, you make me want to start trying my hand at customising, but you are on another level, sir. We are all on another level. If we're all on the same level, wouldn't it be boring? I've been doing this a long time. I've been working with epoxy and that sort of stuff since like 1997, 1996. So, that's a long time. So I have a sort of level of confidence, whether it's rightly so or not, in using it, in knowing that no matter what I do, I can kind of turn it around into something that's all right. Like there are very few times that I sort of failed to make a figure, but that's because there's always a way to fix something that goes wrong. Customizing is essentially breaking and repairing figures. So there's in that equation there's no space for something to go wrong, because going wrong is the start of the process. So yeah, I'd recommend that if you have any inclination towards customizing, just go for it. Like, will it be what I can do? No, but that's just the same way if you were to make toast, it wouldn't be the same way I can do it. It's just you shouldn't, anyway, just go for it is what I'm saying. I do get a lot of messages, well, not a lot, I'm not fucking swamped by mail. People saying, oh, you've been saying. I'm like, well, go then, is do something with it. Just pick up a pot of paint, pick up some epoxy, just go for it. Easy for you to say. So what I'm doing, I better explain what I'm doing at the moment, is I'm just essentially covering this whole shoulder ball in I'm trying to make a thin layer of epoxy, and then before it cures I'm going to hit it with the heat gun, and it's going to, the air that is trapped inside the epoxy is going to expand and sort of create bubbles inside it that you see here. So really I'm just going to heat the epoxy as much as I can and create this sort of bubbly texture, which hopefully will save me a lot of work in texturing his skin, because I don't want to sculpt individual scales. So really what I'm trying to do is just get all of them covered in a thin layer of epoxy and get it textured using a heat gun. This was the method I used to make Crablante, and you can see my video diaries making him here on my channel, of course. So I don't have to be very tidy. Something I am trying to do is keeping it as thin as I possibly can, especially around the points where his articulation is going to go, because I don't want it all to get scraped off when his arm moves. I've already like sanded, cut and ground those areas down, but I may have to do more eventually. Let me just try and catch up on the chat. Stephen Watson, how did you acquire the Icons Hulk figure for the base body? I just bought it online. I don't know where it was, whether it was eBay or whether it was Amazon. I think I got it around the end of last year, the start of this year or something. So it's not the Icons Hulk, though. This is the more recent, this is the most recent sort of 12-inch Marvel Legends Hulk from the Hasbro recent attempt to do that size line. The Hulk may have been the final figure they did in that line, I'm not sure. Because no one was paying attention to that line, let's face it. Kevin Clay says, did you like the Peach bits in Paper Mario? I never played much of Paper Mario. I really didn't get far with its sense of humour or the amount. You know, I like and also the battle mode, the battle system just didn't really do anything for me. I really prefer the Game Boy Advance, like what is that? Mario and Luigi RPG. I really preferred that. You know, there was I played the 1000-Year Door a little, but it just wasn't really for me, to be honest. So I have very little patience for clicking through text that's, you know, being written across the screen. Zero patience. So that's not my scene. And yeah, it's one of those things where I always think with comedy, you're either into that comedy or you're not. You know, if it's not funny to you, it's just not funny. And it just wasn't funny to me. I was just like, oh god, I'm not getting any entertainment from it. trying to like see behind the shell, and then I'm like, oh yeah, his arm rotates. Oh. I could just rotate his arm. Milo says, would you ever build Princess? And similarly, from America Eagle, will you do a Mario companion figure? No to both. Sorry. I think it's really strange that Figure Arts have not done a Peach figure. They did the Bowser figure. It's really terrible. Well, it was fine, but for the price you were paying, it just had zero articulation and stuff. It was disappointing. Oops. Rygar the Destroyer, where did you get the metal spikes in the collar? I think I just got them off Amazon. They came in like a set. So it's like they're just like little screws that screw into the spike. Oh, is the sound? Sorry, the back. Sorry about that. Thank you. I don't know why anything happens, frankly. What was the? Does anyone know what the last question I answered was? Did I tell you about why I wanted Marvel fatigue and all that sort of nonsense? I'm sure it wasn't that interesting anyway. You wouldn't have missed out on anything. Just an old man grumbling. Well, here's a question for you guys then. What video game character would you like to have a custom figure of? Who knows, I might make it. I'm not going to make it. Oh, and Turvey, I've asked whether you were using a regular paintbrush. Sorry, no, it's a rubber tipped clay sculpting tool. I don't know what it is called. Sirius Berko says, I really liked your workshops. Will we have a BOWSER workshop? I don't know. I don't know if they'll... Maybe? The workshops are... Part of me doing this is because I don't have to script it. I don't have to edit it. I don't have to archive the footage. I don't have to think about, all that sort of thing. I can just turn on the camera and get you guys content, because every other step of the process is a ball ache, serious ball ache. And it's, while I appreciate the views and everything I get, the investment for the result is really not worth it. I'm spending so much of my time editing video, scripting stuff, trying to get it just right, something that I'm proud of. You've seen how long I work on just this that's right in front of me, and this is when I have a time limit. Like, this is epoxy that's I can only work on for a couple of hours. Imagine how long I would work on something if it didn't have a time limit. Like, if I could just infinitely keep working on it. That's me video editing. It's just goes on and on and on. So I would say don't get your hopes up that I will do a BOWSER workshop. I can spend hours and hours making it, and then someone who still really likes it they'll spend like 10 minutes watching it. Like, it's just not worth the investment. Now, as I draw these lines up his shoulder, you may be realising, my God, Craig knows nothing about anatomy. And you'd be right. I don't know what this is meant to be. But hey, he's a giant dinosaur dragon man. Who knows? Really, I'm going to like be texturing all of this, but I just want there to be like some semblance of anatomy. Whether it's nonsensical or what. Oh yeah. So I'm gonna have to trim this shoulder down. You can see around there when I twist it, how it's creating that line. So that's where paint rub is going to happen, and more critically, it's going to fuck up the sculpt. So I need to trim this shoulder down. Let's trim that out. AWPWN says, is it true that you won't be entering the Secret Santa this year? Yes. No Secret Santa from me this year. Oops. Erg. Give it. Oot. Rygar the Destroyer says, is there a character that you want to make but you feel like you can't because of some aspect of the figure's design? I don't think there's many things that if I really tried hard I wouldn't be able to figure out a way to do it. Sort of like any character that's sort of transparent or more conceptual, like I don't know how familiar you are with Marvel comics, but there's a being called Eternity, who's essentially he's like highlights of a human form that appear in space. So like he's the entirety of the conceptual cosmos of, and he's the embodiment of the universe. And sort of when they see him in space. He's enormous, and you see like the side of his face highlighted and a bit of his shoulder against the dark, and the rest of him is you see space through him. And a lot of people have made customs where it's like a black body with space painted all over it. But that's not really what he is. He's more like the suggestion of a form in the dark, you know, with everything else visible through him. And it's just the kind of thing that like he's not a man in a body stocking with stars painted on him. You know, it's just something so much more conceptual and not real. So figures like that, things that are invisible, things that are transparent, smoke-like, they don't have a lot of physical form. How do you translate that into physical form? Like, I love the horror movie The Blob. I would love to have a figure of the Blob, but it is obviously formless. So making that into like a rigid action figure is just like, how does that even, like, nope, it does not compute. So these sort of things. But characters that have a physical form, like obviously if I'm doing Ganon and Bowser, the next one that rears its head is obviously Ridley. His wings would pose a problem, but I'd figure out a way to do them eventually. I don't have a solution in my head just now how to do them, or how to make him so like thin and wiry but able to support his size, and for his arms not to snap when they're that thin and long but also have wings attached to them. How does his neck support that like head? You know, it's just a sort of engineering problem. But more, yeah, I think I could, if I really wanted to make these figures, then I would figure out a way eventually to do it. Sorry. Sirius Berko says, beautiful job, Craig, congratulations, thank you. I'm having some trouble scrolling through the chat. What a pain in the arse this is. There we go. Mr. Mixpitblick says, we'll miss you every year. I hope that I can either get one of your beautiful creations or be lucky enough to attempt to make something for a master. Oh, that's nice. Mason J, is YouTube your full-time job? No, sirree. Looking great. Stefano Maisto, thank you. Creative C, have you ever thought about doing some drawing videos, or do you only like doing it for when you're designing your figures? I'm just not that good a drawer, really. Like, I can work and work and work. Like, drawing, I don't know where I'm going with it. I treat it very much like I'm sculpting now. Like, I draw lines, draw lines, draw lines, draw lines. I don't, and then maybe I work it and work it and work it and work it and work it until it looks like something. But I'm not, you know, I just don't have the confidence in my drawing ability. When you see other people draw, they're like very definite, confident about how to make what's in their mind come into reality. But, you know, it really would not be that interesting, I feel. Right, okay. Kip McLeod says, instinctively, I think I'd like to have Fox McCloud, but I'd really like some substantial chunky monster that could probably hold, that you could properly hold, and Fox would inevitably be kind of lean and fragile. Yep. To be honest, I'd probably want a Bowser. Let's see everyone that wants a Bowser come crawling out of the woodwork when I post up this finished thing. My child is sick in hospital and his Bowser is his favourite character. Will you please make one for him? Oh yeah. Sure, I believe you. Also, if it's true, the answer's still no. Oh, right. Okay. Let's see if my heat gun will stretch this far. Yeah, well. Or, I'm very scared to move this because it's my tablet in the balance. as it's not great on the tripod. But here we go. Heat gun. Hi. Heat gun. Right. So the idea is I've turned on this heat gun, there will be a lot of noise, whirring, and you shall hopefully see the little bubbles appear on the surface of the epoxy. And I'm going to try and keep the heat away from the multi-morph because the multi-morph will go soft. But it won't be too much of a problem. See? You see the bubbles appearing? Oh, good. Blistering heat. Feel the heat on my sizzling meat. Come to me. There we go. Whoa. Whoa. Freighter Sanguinus asks, did you happen to catch Symbiote Seeker's custom Superior Venom video? He names you as a direct influence for that particular. I can tell by looking at it. I thought it was kind of nice. No, I didn't see that. I'll go check it out. So it's actually a texture got going on over them. I'm hoping it looks good when it's painted, but we'll see. Let's pop these bigger bubbles because they'll just crumble anyway when they're cured, and it creates a nice sort of cratered look to him. So the heat also accelerates the epoxy curing process, so a lot of this will this is on its way to being unworkable now, and that's basically it. My next step will be to sort of add the cornflakes on its arms, the sort of armor plated bits. They're just flat bits of epoxy, just stick them on, flatten them down. I won't do that just now because it's still quite hot, and it affects how the epoxy sticks to it. Like, it won't stick right and it'll just come off nasty. But yeah. Like I said, I wasn't going to spend a long time on here, and I don't want to move him around too much when he's got like so much epoxy on. So I won't be really working on anything else. I'll be wrapping it up here. AWPWN, see or read anything great as of late? No. I'm listening to the audiobook of Aliens, the Cold Forge, and I'm really enjoying that. Don't know why I'm in it recently. But yeah. Danny B, are you using 12-inch Hulk? Yup. Mr. Mixpitlick, so the epoxy is about what, 70% cured now after the heat. Looks like you have a little play left. Also Milliput, right? That's right. Yes, I use Milliput. So yeah, it's about 70% cured, I'd say, but it is pretty unworkable at the moment. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, thank you. So I've been here about almost an hour. So I think I'll just call it a day there. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm sorry I've not been on sooner. Like I said, technical issues with my phone and what have you prevented that. This is not the final look of the collar. I've still got this, just the basic look of it. What do you say? Wouldn't those spikes on the end of the chest block some arm movement? Dun dun dun. Oh my god, it's almost like he's thought of that. Yeah, thank you everyone for joining me. I was just wrapping up, sorry I got distracted. Like your new shoulder, Bowser? Nah, sorry. It's okay. Oh. Hard to please, huh? Well, he won't be happy till I sculpt him some genitals. In my next live stream will be on Pornhub. Come join me there when I sculpt Bowser's genitals. He ain't got none. Spoiler alert. Although if you Google them, I'm sure you'll see them. Anyway, everyone, thank you very much for joining me. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on Instagram. I live stream more frequently there, and because it works better for me, and I tend to have more of a laugh over there. Less instructional, more social, more chatty, more singing. What can we say? And yeah, until next time though, pour on the power, and toodaloo. Bye.